Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today I've got the sad news that I will be returning my Mac Mini to Amazon, but I want to explain to you why I'm doing that. Let's get into it. This is the Mac Mini from Apple, and this is the M4 version, the base model that I went for. Now, you've probably seen loads of videos on this device, and I have to say, in defense of this device, it is the best value item from Apple at the moment. I would argue that in 2025, this has got to be the most high value product for the best value for money. So for 720 euros, I bought this device, which is the 256 gigabyte memory with 16 gigs of RAM. And I have to say, I've been loving it. So this is the first, let me give you a bit of history. This is the first Apple computer product that I've bought in the last 10 years. I was a Mac boy for a long time, particularly while I was an educator and when I was in education as well. And then I switched away from Apple towards the 2000s, and now I have become much more of a fan again, especially because the premise has become much better value for money. So I want to keep this video short and concise as to my experience, because all the technical specs are out there, but what I wanted to do was tell you why I would recommend getting one and why I'm sending mine back as well. So first and foremost, what I want to talk about is the port. So basically, it's incredibly simple to use this device. Obviously, what you only get is the box, which is of course the brains of the computer. You will need a monitor, you will need a keyboard, and you will need a mouse. Now, whether you decide to go for Apple products, that's up to you. But the point is, you have choice. They won't come in the box. All you get in this box is this and the power cable. That's all you're gonna see in there, okay? So in terms of the ports and accessibility, what you've got here is you've got the power receptor. You've obviously got an Ethernet cable, which massively speeds up the speed of which your device will function connecting to the internet, but you'll be able to get 5G speeds using Wi-Fi as well. So for most people, like 90% of people, just the wireless connection to Wi-Fi, which is what I have, is perfectly adequate for upload and download. You've got an HDMI port, which allows you to connect to a screen. And then you have 3 Thunderbolt connectors. So these are USB Type-C connections, and this allows you to connect to things like your keyboard and so on and so forth. But I have an adapter. So for me, I can literally show you practically that my adapter now allows me to have 3 separate connections going through one port. So I can just connect this in here, and that allows me to connect everything I need into just using one port at the back there. So it's incredibly efficient. Now, you don't have to get this. This is an Apple product. And this I found is important. If you're going to use one of these devices, you're going to want to get one from Apple, because they're very clever at making it difficult to use if you don't have one of their products. So that was very, very handy, but you don't need that based on the number you have here, because also at the front of the device, this is the side that would be most likely facing you, is 2 extra Thunderbolt or USB Type-C ports, and you get a 3.5mm jack as well. So if you want to plug in some earphones, imagine earphones plugged in, then you can absolutely do that. So if you want to listen privately, or you're editing and you want to not affect the surrounding environment, it's very, very useful to have that. So really impressed with all of that in there. Now, the weird thing that everyone's picked up on is the location of the power button. Now, the power button is underneath the device. So if you imagine I've got this on my desk, I can't even get my finger underneath it, because the fan that juts out from the bottom there actually lifts it, but not enough for me to get my finger. So I have to lift it up. Now, is that the end of the world? No. Do I really care? No, not really, because it's very easy for me to just lift it up and switch it on and off. If you power down anyway, most people don't even use the shutdown function on these devices. I do, I don't care. My MacBook Mini has been sitting very happily underneath my desk shelf, just like that, and it has been absolutely perfect and no problem, because I can access it when I need, and I do get access to the ports as well. Now, the other accessory that I have needed is, because it does not have an SD card port in the back, sides, or front, or anywhere, is you do need an adapter. So, for example, what I have here are these adapters that go from USB-A to USB Type-C. So of course it then means it can connect to that, because of course some of my connections are still a bit old school, being USB Type-A. So you just need a couple of adapters. These are not expensive, links will be in the description below, but these are less than 10 euros each for one of those. Those are not Apple products and not absolutely essential, but they are very useful if you have old school connections or ports, etc. Same rule goes for the keyboard, which is an official Apple keyboard, but it isn't a wireless Apple keyboard. So all I need to do in that regard is just connect it to my hub here, and that goes in and uses one of the connections at the back there. So it is very, very helpful. If you've got a wireless keyboard, you won't even need that. It'll just wirelessly connect to the device. So if you do get Apple products, the ecosystem is very well developed, as we know, in order for you to use it. But my products are not Apple products because I just don't see the need. And I love this mouse because it is extremely ergonomic. I've just come across it actually. It's called a Proto Arc, and I've been really impressed with this. Now, my day job as a physical therapist is that I regularly recommend the use of ergonomic products in order to benefit you and protect your body as best as possible whilst you're working at your desk. And I was very impressed when I discovered this cleverly designed mouse, and I absolutely love it. So I would recommend it for you. And again, links will be in the description. Getting the connectivity for this device was not a problem. Setting it up was not a problem. The problem I have with it is the base storage. Now, 256 gigabytes for storage is not that bad, but if you are doing any video editing, or if you are doing any graphic design, the base storage is going to be a problem. There are some solutions. So some workarounds are that you can replace the SSD, which requires you opening this up or finding somebody who can open this up, and replace the memory card. Now, there are some companies that are doing upgraded SSDs. Now, I might actually acquire another MacBook in order to do upgrade in the storage. Now, if that's something you're interested in seeing, make sure you like and subscribe and put a comment below, because I'd love to know if my viewers would like to see an upgraded version of the Mac Mini, because I would upgrade the 256 gigabyte memory to 2 terabytes. Now, if that's something you want to see, do let me know, okay? But for now, because this has the base model memory, I've already filled it up with the video footage that I'm making from my YouTube videos, as well as some of my other videos for the therapy that I do as well. So for that reason, this unfortunately has not met my demands. But if I do the SSD upgrade, then I might be getting it back. But in the meantime, I'm also going to be testing out a different MacBook Pro as well. So that was the main reason, really the only reason why I'm not going to be keeping this Mac Mini, is because the base memory is just too little. But otherwise, in terms of functionality, software, latest updates, it is really, really good. One area of the software that I find absolutely useless is Apple AI. I haven't touched it, I've used it, tried to use it. It has made zero difference, and I feel that Apple have really gone the gimmick route, unfortunately. When they integrate it fully, hopefully that'll get better. But until then, AI really has been very disappointing, and I use all the other platforms such as ChatGPT or now DeepSeek, as well as Copilot from Microsoft as well. Those have got much more useful integrations and uses for AI technology. For some reason, Apple seem to be struggling a little bit, even though they're running off the back of ChatGPT. Anyhow, that was my reasoning. If you agree with anything I've said, please put a comment below. I'd love to know. If you agree or disagree, I'd also like to have a discussion with you. But thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you very, very soon for my next one, and bye-bye for now.